I'm also self-deprecating, quick-witted, and incredibly snarky. And that's what surveys tell us millennials like in 2019. Open your mouth, prepare your tongue, because you're about to get a taste.
I cannot believe we've gone 12 episodes without me being able to talk about Final Fantasy.
Well, I know the doll is bad, so I gotta think the Dusty Balloon is less bad.
I mean, if all life everywhere ends, what have I lost?
Facial hair as a theme is not something I ever would have chosen.
So yeah, that's the one that Rock is just sweaty the whole time.
He's got that good pointy Jafar beard.
I've got 3 pages of AMA citations.
This is the Debate This podcast.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this podcast, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and why we're going to do the Orango Tango at Todd's wedding.
Oh my God.
The
Can we?
wedding's canceled.
Yep, you brought this on yourself. Boys, let's talk about MMOs.
Do we have to?
Yes. Matt, what does MMORPG stand for?
Massive online role-playing game, multiplayer online role-playing, massive multiplayer online role-playing game.
That was very good, Matt.
Yeah!
I'm very proud of you.
Woo!
On the third time, it was very good.
Yes. Well, we can edit it so it sounds like one time.
We won't.
Why would we do that?
Listen, as an only child, MMORPGs hold a very special place in my heart. Spending endless hours fighting boars to gather 100 boar teeth, to spending endless hours waiting for a party match, to spending endless hours wiping over and over to a difficult raid boss because the fucking tank won't hold the aggro.
Can I pause you for a second? Just a quick second.
Yeah.
When you say spending endless hours wiping, what?
Yeah, those are all MMO words. So a wipe is like everybody dies. So like a party wipe is like everybody gets killed and you have to start over.
Well, I learned something today.
Yeah.
But also wiping because he was on the toilet all the time because he only had Doritos and Taco Bell while he played.
What a weird joke to commit to.
I went there.
You're just gonna hear a big pit of silence there in that recording, and that's because Kyle said something weird.
Good.
Anyway, so here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem.
What is the problem?
The kids today, they don't know the thrill of getting that party invite after LFGing in the common zone for hours on end.
Oh, it's such a problem.
This
They
isn't
don't
even words. I don't understand any of this.
Looking for grouping.
Yes, thank you, Todd. They don't know the exhilaration of rolling the highest on those epic tier pauldrons after spending months grinding the same 40-man raid.
I get most of that.
Yeah.
I'm there for some of that.
With all the Fortnites and the Apex Legends out there giving players the instant gratification, it's time we launched a new MMO. But this new game needs to break through the competition. It needs to be exciting and relevant for our casual audiences. So what's more relevant and exciting than modern corporate America?
Is that a real question or is that a thing?
I'll pause for applause. Great. Hey, thank you.
How sad are you, Andrew?
I'm exhilarated because we're going to build an MMO. So the first thing that I need are people to fill the space. So I'm going to take open auditions for my new MMO office-based RPG. Right now, sitting outside my casting director's office are Todd, City of Villains Thomas, Matt, Burning Crusade Cole, and Kyle, Heavensword Harper.
I'm so glad you gave me City of Villains because
you're
I
welcome.
played that game.
Isn't it
played
good?
that game.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
So, like, I know all of our names are MMO games, but also could be speed metal bands, and I'm kind of into that.
Yes, I think yes to both. They're the first level expansions to some of my favorites. So City of Villains was City of Heroes, Burning Crusade is WoW, and Heavensward is Final Fantasy XIV.
All right.
Okay. Heavensward was the only one I didn't know.
Sorry, Kyle.
There's good reason for that.
All right. So forget Paladin, forget Hunter, forget Mage. We need new jobs to fill this game to get players excited about all the new innovative ways to play. So what I want you to do is tell me how you will fit this new game. But since this is corporate America, we're going to paste new labels over the same roles that everyone's been playing for years. So tell me what your job will be and how you'll fit within the traditional tank, melee DPS, range DPS, and healer format. Matt, DPS means damage per second. So
I know that because I watch Overwatch.
Yay, there it is. So basically, take your very human resume and fit it round peg square hole style into my ambitious virtual playground.
I like that you watch Overwatch and not play Overwatch, because that is also how I consume Overwatch.
Same.
I've never once played it, and I've watched it more than 0 times.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. I'm glad you could join us today. I want to keep introductions brief and get down to business here. My name is Chaz Harmon, and I am your team's project manager and team controller. Andrew?
Oh, I love it already.
It is my job. This is going to get bad. We're going to cut away from this for I've got so many buzzwords. So many buzzwords.
Maybe, do you want to crack another beer real quick?
No, I'm gonna
push through
and scene get back into my character. It's my job to make you more effective by eliminating distractions and cutting the noise, Andrew.
Ugh.
With me as part of your team, we will streamline workflows and restrict the scope creep that can cause headaches.
I'm already hard, Todd.
We're going to restrict the scope creep that cause headaches and unnecessary stress for a main character such as yourself. Bringing me onto your team will give you the full access to abilities like corporate synergy, where I make sure the work you do is only complemented by the work done by those around you.
Yep.
And skills like risk mitigation, where I can highlight the most concerning threat in front of us and decide how to best assess it.
Now, Todd,
and
if you do that, can you promise me you will not take any action?
I will only stand back and tell you how to best do it.
Perfect.
That is my goal as a project manager.
Perfect.
Is just stand back and don't actually do anything myself. But best of all, I'll give you skills like brainstorming, where we combine our efforts to create an unstoppable force that can take on any problem before us by literally creating a storm using our brains. What I have brought for you today is a project manager who is taking on the role of controller /buff /debuff mage.
Ooh, that's good.
And his name is Chaz Harmon.
Chaz Harmon, support specialist.
He was probably given his job by his dad. Like, he did not earn it.
Oh, that's very, very good. So Chaz, one follow-up question.
Yeah.
What's your required tools in the office? What are you going to need? What's your weapon? What are you going to need to get the job done?
I just need good, solid project management software that runs on a laptop that is way more expensive than you'll ever need to have for what I'm doing.
Well, we've got Microsoft Project, the 2002 version on this old ThinkPad. Can you do that? Can you use that one?
It's not good, but honestly, project management software all just kind of works the same in the end. So yeah, it's gonna be fine.
All
I
right,
think.
we'll send you some spreadsheets to work on later.
Oh, I appreciate it.
All right, next person.
Hey everyone, my name's Forbergorf. And I am just so stoked to be part of this team. To tell you a little bit about myself, I love social media, Starbucks, and social media. If you didn't know, the boss man has brought me in to fill a very special, new, and exciting role. Social media coordination.
Ugh.
You don't need to worry about anything. I have plenty of experience in the communication field, including social media posting, content creation, calendar management, social media, and branding.
Good.
Lucky for you guys, I'm also self-deprecating, quick-witted, and incredibly snarky. And that's what surveys tell us millennials like in 2019. All this comes together to mean I get to act as your range DPS for this raid. Why, you may ask? Because nothing hurts worse than digital words thrown at you from across the universe from a faceless attacker hiding behind the anonymity of a larger-than-life corporation. It's even better when it goes viral. Get ready to delete your account, you cowards. #blessed.
I'm just, the way you put that, I'm now just immediately thinking of all the corporate social media accounts that like interact with one another to give them a human side, like Denny's and Pop-Tarts and Wendy's. And I realize, yes, we know the person who runs Wendy's one, but you can't see the Denny's tweets and be like, a normal person is doing that. Like, no, it's, I hate it. I hate this.
This is, when I did corporate AV, I just watched these meetings all day, every day. Like, you guys got to just attend one and leave and go back to work the next day. It was my job. And
Kyle takes a long drag from his cigarette.
Yeah, this hurts.
He's saying too much.
So let me go into mine.
Well, one question. I have one more follow-up question for Mr. Gurf. Is that it? Mr. Gurf?
Forbergurf. Forbergurf. It's one word.
All one word.
It's,
like
it's
shares?
one word.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually my handle on all my social media accounts too.
Great.
Forbergurf. Forbergurf.
Okay. Yeah. That's really going to track.
FORBOR.
I've already forgotten it. It's fine.
GU
Nope,
with an
I'm
umlaut.
not writing it down. My
RF. You have to
pen
hold
is
the
in
U.
another room. It's
If you
gone.
hold the U, you
Nope,
can get
I
the
don't.
umlaut.
I don't even know what that is. So Mr. Gurf, I'm gonna just call you Gurf now.
Okay.
Do you with the memes? Do you with the memes? Do you dank meme?
Oh yes. The memes. They call them memes.
The memes.
Yes, the memes. I have now. I know that this is different for people of your generations, but on your phone, in your picture galleries, you can create.
That's
different...
the brick, the Taki brick. Yes.
Yes. You can create
brick. What?
different albums, and many millennials will have an album just for memes. And I too, I have a thick with 2 C's.
I'm dead inside.
A thick album of memes, or I'll call them memes for you if it makes you feel more comfortable.
It does. Thank you. All right. Well, appreciate your time, Mr. Gurf. We've got one more gentleman here outside. Why don't you come on in?
Well, this is weird because it's not a gentleman, but
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, he couldn't see you over his talkie brick.
My Taki brick was in the way.
thank you everyone for coming today. Please grab some of the donuts and coffee and have a seat. Everyone all set? Everyone comfortable? Great.
You brought donuts. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We'll just get started then. Let me introduce myself. My name's Karen from the HR Guild. I've brought you all here today to tell you how a HR representative will help your raiding party. We're trained to protect you from hostile powers and have the proper tools to help take power out of those attacks and draw the hostility towards us. I'm hoping to join your team as your HR rep and tank. So at the HR Guild Hall, I learned ancient and powerful techniques that I will share with your party. With our powerful conflict resolution zone, we will weaken your enemy's attacks, making them almost ineffective. And with our open door policy and our never-ending stream of memos and demerits, we're trained to draw your enemy's ire towards ourselves and take it away from the rest of the team that is doing the heavy lifting. But if I get in a pinch, I can really pack a wallop and dole out my paralyzing hiring freeze. We'll stop our foes in their tracks and allow the rest of the team to carry on with the mission. And if we really get in a bind, I can unleash my ultimate attack, the Lunch and Learn, which will not only fully heal the party, and it will buff their intelligence and constitution, and lower our enemy's speed, wisdom, and will to live.
Wow. Wow, Karen.
Hiring freeze and lunch and learn,
Karen, those are some pretty impressive abilities you got there.
Well, thank you.
Now tell me, what is so do you have some sort of tool or resource that you're gonna use to hold all this aggro?
So all of the HR guild members' power stems from their clipboard, which I carry with me at all times.
Very interesting. I never knew that was a source of power.
Yep, it's like a holy book, but for HR guild members.
Sure.
But covered by specific laws and regulations of what information you can share and what you cannot.
Yes, exactly.
OSHA certified.
Yes.
100%.
I want to step back from these characters for a second and say, as someone who has never really been involved in corporate America, the phrase lunch and learn makes my insides want to be on my outsides.
Yeah.
I want to tell a story.
It's a lunch. It's where they buy you lunch, but you have to work through it.
No.
Is the
Todd? No, Todd. No real names. Real names.
I won't. I'll protect the innocent identities. So where I work at a state university in Ohio. So
sued, fired. Start looking for a new job.
So our like eating space is in this one area, and I eat lunch a little bit earlier because I get there a little bit earlier. Anyway, I was eating lunch and I didn't know that I had placed myself in a lunch and learn half an hour before it started. And so I sat there eating my lunch while this presentation went on for an hour that I couldn't leave during, but I had no business being there.
It's a trap.
Yeah, I'm eating, and I'm like 15 minutes into my meal, and they start setting up. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be done in the next 5 minutes. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh no.
Oh no.
So Todd, here's the question on everyone's minds: what did you learn?
Actually, it was a whole thing about like how data is transmitted through the university and what's allowed. It was actually quite interesting for the people that were supposed to be there. For me, I was just like, huh, how about that? Well, I'm here now. So yeah, that is what Lunch and Learn actually is. You are right.
All right. So thank you all for help. We're doing these one-on-one interviews. I'm going to bring you all back, and we're going to do a little rapid fire. So now that you're all back immediately in my office, we've talked about how you're going to fight in the world, what kind of role you're going to take. We've got a tank. Sounds like we've got DPS. We've got kind of a support, debuff. But combat is only one half of the MMO experience, right? You go through the story, you fight the big bad, you do the top tier raid, and then you're done. There's nothing else to do. But the problem is we need to keep an economy going. We need to keep players playing. We want to keep people engaged. So we need to have some sort of Skinner box, some sort of carrot that people never quite attain, but always get, little dopamine squirts to reach the end to. So we're going to implement a crafting system. Hooray!
I hate that you said dopamine squirt.
Yeah. I hate that almost as much as I hate crafting systems because you have just pinned the reason that I fucking hate RPG games.
Dopamine Squirts is the name of my corporate softball team. I said it first.
See, if you did that, you would have to then go talk to Karen.
Yeah. Karen would have something to say behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors.
that was another one.
That's another good one.
I got them all, baby. Yeah, so we're gonna implement a crafting system. This is the way that we're gonna stimulate our in-game economy and get people coming back, purchasing goods on the auction house, and so on and so forth. So things like smithing and leatherworking, those are old hat, right? Those are days gone by in those old timey fantasy environments. I want your cool new corporate America crafting profession.
So, Andrew,
Todd.
here at corporate
or
Chaz,
sorry,
thanks.
Chaz, excuse me.
Chaz Harmon. It was Charles, but my father's name is Charles. I'm Chaz.
Sure.
Here at Corporate Job Corporation, we've allowed you
LLC?
to do
It's LLC, sir.
It's a limited liability corporation.
Thank you.
We've allowed you to do what every MMO player has ever wanted to do, right? And that is to craft an unstoppable minion horde of pet ducks. Okay.
Wait, what the fuck?
All right. Well, you've given me the solution. Give me the problem.
Do I have your attention?
Kind of.
Good enough. With me as your team's project manager, I'll give you tasks or instances to run called sprints. When you complete a sprint, which when you complete
Fuck
a
your
sprint,
agile references.
yeah, I know, right? This is all project management garbage. When you complete a sprint, you'll be awarded with, well, let's call it a deliverable that you can show off to the team
I love it.
for all of your efforts. As you complete these sprints and gather up these deliverables, you'll be given the ability to go to our hip employee recreation station in our corporate employee lounge. Here, you'll be rewarded by exchanging your deliverables for loot boxes that contain fun,
Perfect.
corporate sponsor. Wait, these loot boxes will contain fun, corporate sponsored drone ducks that will follow you and do your bidding effectively and efficiently. Because Andrew, with Chaz Harmon as your project
Don't say
lead,
it.
I'm going to
Don't say
help
it.
you get your ducks in a row.
Oh, he said it.
Wow, that was a Larry David-esque setup. You took 30 minutes to get the one joke, and fuck, it landed. It landed real good.
And to play back to the City of Villains, everyone knows the best villain was the controller doctor that could create all of the android monster robots that followed you, because the controller is always the most fun to play because it just makes shit that does the shit for you while you get to go off and be cool.
That's why Necromancer is the best in Diablo.
Yeah.
That's why 4E was the best version of Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know about that one. That's
a
you said
a real
it.
hot
Was this one truth and a false? Is that this one?
That's a real hot take. All right. Well, thank you, Chaz. Mr. Was it Rorf? Rorberger?
Did you just say nouns with an orf? Like you didn't know what you were gonna do?
It's Forbergorf. You'll see it at the bottom per my last email.
There it is.
Oh boy, Mr. Henderson, sir, I love talking about content creation. I'm actually very passionate about creating content. Oh, my bad. Crafting content. See, I heard in a Gary Vee podcast once that your older coworkers will show you more respect if you use their office jargon. So anyway, I'm very passionate about crafting content. I don't really care what kind of content. I just like crafting content. I think my favorite type of content to craft are tweets. Tweets are like these little blurbs that you can put out onto this server called Twitter to let your followers know what's happening with you and your party. You really have to be tuned into the world to craft good tweets. So the more experience you have, the farther you travel, the more raids you complete, and the more dungeons you explore, the higher level your tweets will be.
Higher level tweets.
I can't tell if you're purposefully channeling the guy who runs Grizzle at the end of Parks and Rec, or if just you automatically sound like that when you create this character.
It, So, Mr. Gorf, you have effectively gamified my game. Is that what I'm hearing?
Sure, if that's what you want to hear.
Oh, perfect. All right, Karen, why don't you, we haven't heard from you in a while.
So over here at the HR Guild, we like to give out what we call positivity points for good behavior. So every time you do something like cast a buff on a teammate, or do a combo with another member of our guild, or not flame a noob in chat, even though you called jungling this time, damn it, and we need someone in the top lane, you get a positivity point. Positivity points can be spent at our very own guild shop on cosmetics that are guaranteed to be as inoffensive as possible, or a meme from 3 years ago.
Ooh, I like that. I like the idea of us being behind the curve. I think that's it's really important to capitalize on things that are long past.
Well, we can't be too ahead or out there, because that might be offensive to some people, and we need to make sure everyone is okay with the content we're putting out.
We know for a fact, market testing has proven that many of the millennials do want to has cheeseburger. So go ahead. Please interrupt.
No, I would like to interrupt you. While I appreciate your usage of what some might call dead memes, I'm not sure that external communication is the place for those. Perhaps you should keep those to the group emails inside of the company.
Well, all my kids love I Can Has Cheeseburger, or at least they did 10 years ago when they talked to me.
Karen.
I was just gonna say, Kyle's the reference of even though you called jungling this time, damn it, and we need someone in the top lane. That so few times have I ever felt like I was bullied in an online video game until I played League of Legends for a year. And I just suddenly went back to feeling like I was a child that knew nothing about anything.
That, by the way, that was the extent of all of my League of Legends lingo and knowledge.
Experiencing it through us.
Yes.
In the brief year that Andrew and I played League of Legends a lot, I specifically remember one time I was about to get killed by like another guy on the other team, and someone else from our team was going to come and save me, and a third person on our team said, no, leave him.
Oh my god, I've never been told to kill myself more than
Oh,
like.
man, League of
Yeah.
Legends is a toxic community.
Yep.
Hey, good thing it's like one of the highest grossing esports games.
It's worse than any junior high gym class. So Karen, one follow up question for you.
Yeah.
So these positivity points, I want to drill down on that a little bit. So how are the positivity points distributed? Are you assuming that other players will hand them out to each other?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone will be given 20 positivity points to hand out whenever they see someone doing what they consider an act of kindness. And once if you've given out all your positivity points, please come see me. I'll be happy to give you more. We really want to give out as many of those as we can.
Now, Mr. Gorbachev,
Former girl.
Tear down this wall.
Mr. Gerp to Derp. Now, your understanding of the millennial demographic.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they would be so inclined to hand each other out these positivity points?
Well, I will say, with the millennial generation, positivity doesn't go nearly as far as negativity. Again, I like to focus on outward communication, and if you check my resume, you'll see that most of it involves freelance work, so I don't have a lot of experience with working inside of a corporation. So I don't know how that would go from employee to employee, but what I can tell you is that if you expect our social media to be positive, you can get that @FlexSeal bullshit out of here, because they're failing as a social media.
All right.
I love the joke of how terrible millennials are, knowing now that the age range of millennials tops out at just under 40.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
It's anyone who doesn't have the Social Security pension.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, I'm sad
man.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the rest of your life.
Here it is.
I'm sorry. I have to take this call. Now I'm back.
No, I'm back. I'm not saying anything on this call.
Sounds like our executive leadership just blew a quarter of the game's budget on a team building activity last night. Well, I only have enough to bring in one of you, so why don't you all tell me why you deserve to have the top billing over the other two?
Yeah, this one's real easy, Andrew. I'm here to make you be better at what you do. You get the limelight,
I like that.
and I stand in the background to make you look good. Twitter feeds? Who needs them? Not you. With a social media coordinator, all we are is one late night Ambien fueled tweet away from a settlement. You know?
Ooh, I don't like settlements. That's bad money.
No. And listen, you're an aspiring YoPro. Let me help grease the wheels of corporate success so that you can climb the ladder as fast and recklessly as possible. If you draft an HR rep to be your backup, they may serve as a good stonewall for your enemies, but they're going to trap you in a cycle of quarterly employee check-ins, reminders of minuscule changes to your health plan, which you don't need a health plan. Pfft, you're invincible.
That is true.
And the how are we doing surveys. You don't have time for surveys. You only have time to recklessly hit project milestones, all for the glory of you and largely the corporate machine that pays us both, with me as your teammate. You're the star, and I'm just going to help you control the chaos that is this rat race. Let me stand back and make you better at being you.
Chaz, I like what you're saying. Now, here's why.
It's good.
I don't know what you're saying, but you're saying it confidently.
Have I said sprints or deliverables lately?
Not lately, but it's helping.
What about stakeholders and triple constraint? Those are more buzzwords I looked up for this podcast.
It's less helping. So
Okay.
I like what you're saying. Where you're saying you're. It sounds like you're saying everything that I'm thinking, even though you're not really saying anything, and that makes me feel confident in my decision making.
You have an unstoppable armada of robot ducks now too. I did not bring that up again because they're in a row with me and you.
A little high concept, but we can work on that.
It's fine.
Jerpergerp.
Forbergorf.
Yep. Flurberg.
Bless you.
Forbergorf.
Gesundheit. Please, why don't you give your statement?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I would like to go back to my resume one more time. As I have provided you with a copy, you will see that most of the experience on my resume is what we in the social media industry called freelance work. What does that mean, you may ask? You don't actually need to hire me. Pass me a few passwords and a check once a month, and I'll do all the work for you. You don't even have to see me around the office. Do you really want to spend every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 with Karen from HR? I don't think so. She seems to put a damper on the party.
I mean,
Karen doesn't want to spend Karen time with Karen.
Karen brought donuts. Karen brought donuts. What did you bring besides a bad attitude and destroying my favorite Applebee's?
You know what I will bring you? If you bring me in, Mr. Henderson, I will bring you virality. What is virality? It is the attention of the world. What some might call a plus 30 charisma bonus. What some MMO players might call your older brother who only plays a couple times a month but is a significantly higher level than you, and you just really need him to beat that raid. So if you bring me in, I will make sure that the entire world's eyes are on your team and your corporation. And even when you fail in your goals, everyone will know that you tried hard, and they'll forget about them quickly because I'll push your next accomplishment out. There is no failure in social media, only forgotten deleted posts.
All right, Karen. Karen, I want to apologize for the comments that Flabbergast over here said.
Forbergorf.
Yeah. So I Foreman over here was very rough. So
Foreman Gorf.
Foreman, Mr. Foreman Gorf. I do want to sincerely apologize on the behalf of Corporate America LLC.
No worries. We've already filed the appropriate paperwork to make complaints about Mr. Forbegorf, and we
Fantastic.
expect those will be handled within 2 to 3 business days.
It's a thick file. It's not the first one.
I'm gonna grab one of this here donuts. It's cold. Okay. Why don't you go ahead?
You may also notice it is stale. It is cold and stale.
I know. I did notice that. Yes.
Well, your team needs protection, and we at the Human Resources Guild have the training over long weekends, the corporate retreats, and the binders to give you that protection. We HR reps are so good at slowing down those who wish to do you harm that when I'm able to achieve my full power, they won't be able to get anything done at all.
Short and sweet. I love it.
Just really lock them up in there.
That's great. What I like. So here's my problem. What Chaz is saying is he's going to get things done, which I like. But Karen is telling me she's going to basically halt all action, which mitigates risk and is easier. And I also like that. So I'm going to have some deliberations to make. I want to close out our discussion today with our super secret bonus question.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. It is exciting. So let's just role play. Let's fast forward a couple of months. You've completed the main story. You've maxed out your character level. Now it's time for the end game. And by end game, I mean, of course, the big gear grind. You need to get that epic tier weapon, those epic tier pauldrons, that epic tier cape, robe. I want you all to tell me what is your epic level weapon and your epic level gear. And we will do that when we are back just in a second.
I'm Tom,
I'm Will.
and we're the hosts of Blasting Off Again, a new Pokemon podcast brought to you by the Upward Network.
We've decided to take on the task of watching through every episode of Pokemon, providing live commentary and in-depth analysis of everyone's favorite 90s dogfighting cartoon.
We're tackling the hard-hitting issues. Is Brock racist?
Was Koffing the first ever suicide bomber?
What are the environmental implications of using Pikachu to power a building?
Will Misty ever get her bite back?
Find out the answer to all these questions and more on Blasting Off Again.
Available on the Upford Network, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We're blasting off again!
Ding.
Welcome back, everybody. Our super secret bonus question that I've posed to you all is, give me your epic level weapon and gear. So Chaz, why don't you start us off?
Sure, so I will keep it very simple for you. So the epic level weapon that I will be equipping you with is a whip that I have titled Jira. Jira, the whip, is here to ensure that everything gets done correctly and on time and done efficiently and done with minimal distractions. If you think that you're going to get off task in a different way, the Jira whip will just snap you right back into place. It'll
I
make
like that
sure
a lot.
you're going the correct direction and in a streamlined and agile. I can't just keep saying agile. It's sucking
No,
my
you
soul
can.
away.
That's the secret. So Chaz, that's an interesting name for your weapon. Do you know where that comes from? Is that like an acronym or something?
Ooh, you're asking me questions I don't know because I know we just use Jira in my office. I'm sure it has an acronym, and I don't know what it is.
All right. Well,
Andrew, what's the acronym?
I don't know. That was an improv softball for you to make something up.
Oh, it stands for just in case random attacks. That's the Jiro whip. Done. It's perfect.
10 out of 10.
Wow, that was
very good.
Was it really good?
That
was super good, wasn't it?
That was very good.
It was
Chaz.
so good, Todd.
So the good news is the weapon is not that important. It's the gear that I'm going to give you. What I'm going to equip you with is a helmet titled the Critical Path Method, or known as the CPM. And what that will do is it'll help you assess and identify the critical or shortest path to every success that you will need. It is a step-by-step approach to make sure that you are going to be as successful as possible in your endless grinding of MMO, because that's what this is. And you're at least going to be efficient in your endless grinding.
Wow, very interesting, albeit not super efficient summation. But thank you, Chaz. Mr. Flowers for Algernon, what's your epic level weapon gear?
Moving past the slight mispronunciation of my handle, I would like to tell you about the epic weapon recently dropped in last month's DLC, known as the crossbow turret of Hootsuite Anthea. Once you have acquired the crossbow turret of Hootsuite Anthea, you have the ability to perform the, what some might call F5 ult, social media blast. What is Hootsuite Anthea Cross Tower Turret, you may ask? Well, it is a turret that allows you to schedule and throw multiple identical social media blasts at a time. Imagine the efficiency of dropping a turret in the middle of a battlefield, telling it when, what, and where to shoot, and then just walking away. Sometimes for months at a time, and just letting it do all the work for you. That's the magic of a social media blast. You do a few months of planning, you load in a few things to the crossbow turret, and then you walk away. It does all the work for you, baby. Knocks them dead one at a time, brings in the retweet experience points. You level up like you've never leveled up before.
Wow, that's very interesting. That seems like it's a pretty costly resource. Is there some sort of cost or cooldown for that?
Nope. It's totally free as long as you don't want to add too many social media accounts. It's totally free. No one pays for it. That's for sure.
Seems like people have been really taking advantage of this weapon
every day for years on end.
Very interesting. All right. Well, thanks for bringing that to the table. Karen from HR, what have you got?
Well, Andrew, thank you for asking. So if you bring me onto your team, I will make sure I equip every one of your team members with a pocket corporate bylaws. So they will always have the proper tools and rules to make sure they are abiding by the company standards and not stepping any toes out of line. In addition to that, I will be bringing my epic level gear of the pink power suit. It's a very a very dashing, a very fetching Lane Bryant pantsuit
Karen from HR.
That really shows my confidence in myself and my ability to play with the big dogs.
I was really hoping for a sensible cardigan, but it's also very good.
Oh, Karen, way to keep it up with the boys club. You get my utmost appreciation.
Thank you.
So, why don't you just summarize your argument really quickly by providing me each with your closing statements, your final thoughts. We don't have a lot of time. We only have a few minutes left here. So, summarize your platform in, 7 words or less.
I, Chaz, came here to make you look good. Could have been like 9 words, who knows at that point. I'll do another cut. Robot duck pets, best MMO pets. There it is.
Perfect.
Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yep.
That's what 133 less characters than you're used to or so.
at Forbergorf.
Your team needs protection. I'm here to provide that protection.
All right, Karen. Well, good effort. All right. So
Okay.
as I said, I'm gonna get on the debate this conference call, so you all can see yourselves out and shower each other with good vibes on the way out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna work backwards in the list that we had. I like HR Karen. HR Karen is better than at least 50% of the HR reps I've ever dealt with. No HR rep has ever given me a donut, cold or not. So I think that's great. Also, the concept of an HR rep being the person that protects you and takes all the hate and aggro is really good.
It's very good.
Like I'm imagining Toby from The Office just taking all the hate. Like that's just it was very, very good. Matt, you had me at Tweet Blast, or Social Media Blast. I liked Forbergorf because I really do like pretending that the most millennial of all millennials actually gets addressed by their handle in the workplace. that we may actually get to the point where someone has lived with so much online identity that by the time they enter the real world, they're like, no, I'm at T-Square87 and you'll call me that. That's what this is.
That's some Black Mirror shit.
You'll refer to me as that or nothing at all.
Or if we get to the point that someone applying for a social media job, like an actual corporate job, will still put their Twitter handle in their name somewhere. I don't know if that's a thing. I haven't made a resume in a while, but I enjoyed the also how nothing hurts worse than getting words thrown at you by an anonymous stranger across the internet. Because as we said, I have been bullied via League of Legends.
Yeah, this was very funny. I enjoyed this a lot.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Todd, Chaz was great. I have worked with exactly one project manager in my life, and they are to this day one of my least favorite people. So,
well, and to be fair, the project managers we have on our team are actually fantastic human beings. Like, they're super, super great. But when I looked through the buzzwords of project managers, I'm like, ooh, these are all real. There they are.
Yeah. It just makes you feel a type of way. But having a project manager as team dad and dungeon crawl captain is very funny to me. I also really like Karen from HR. Karen from HR is incredibly likable for an HR professional. You had me until you said pink power suit, to where I immediately thought of Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter and was like, oh, that's who Karen from HR to me is now. But like Todd said, having an HR person be the tank who's like, oh no, all the aggro comes this way. There's no person to person hate in this corporation. I love it. It's very good.
How do we actually get this game made? Because I kind of want to play a game of a dude in his late 20s, mid to early 30s, who's in a corporate office and has to draft a team.
I'm sure there's an Adult Swim games there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier, I did corporate events. So just all of these meetings all the time. This was some of the realest shit that we've talked about on this podcast. Todd, Chaz, the project manager, who only spouts corporate buzzwords, was just so real and so good, and you did a great job capturing that entity as an MMO character. And Matt, when I saw you put Forbergorf in the show notes, I knew that we had to come to play, because what a well thought out, crafted MMO DPS, and just again the buzzword use, the Gary V name drop. It's all so good. It's all so good.
All right. Well, thank you all for your time today. We actually were able to quickly deliberate, and we've done background checks on all of you. We've called all of your previous employers, and we've come to a decision. So first off, I'd like to address Chaz. Chaz, your background check was rather interesting.
Yeah?
The last 3 employers we called all said they chased you out of the building, like literally chased you out of the building. Very weird, huh? Your last employer said you didn't do anything other than just send JPEGs with the word hump day to people.
But like, have you? Okay, so I'm not good with the memes, but
Yeah,
have you?
clearly.
You've seen the commercial though, right?
Yep, I have. So you kindly get the hell out of my building.
Oh, my dad's gonna buy this corporation.
Mr. Gerber, baby.
Gorbergorf.
Yep. You are just 12. Like you were a 12-year-old boy. Like we've done the research. You are a 12-year-old boy.
A 12-year-old boy with 140,000 followers.
Yep. So
he's actually
that's-
three
Ring
12-year-old
that bell
boys
on
standing
YouTube.
on top of each other in a trench coat.
so as our friend Karen from HR would say, that's super illegal. I cannot hire you, nor would I ever want to hire you because I don't know what your name is. So please kindly see yourself out. So that'll leave us with my new best friend Karen from HR.
Oh, thank
Welcome
you
to the
so
team,
much.
Karen.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to join your team.
I can't wait for the day where 2 months down the road, all of this hate that you've tanked yourself comes just crumbling out in our next team outing.
I cry myself to sleep every night.
Perfect. We're gonna end today's episode on that very dour note. Hey, thanks everyone for listening in to Debate This. We had a lot of fun today. I hope you did too. Follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at DebateThisCast, and check out our website at debatethiscast.com. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a review so more people can hear our pedantry and sometimes role playing. Until next time, I'm Andrew Henderson.
I'm Todd, a literal storm made of brains, Thomas.
I'm Matt Gorbergorf. It's at the end of all of my emails. It's written out for you. I'm sure you can pronounce it, Cole.
And I am Kyle. Everyone, please take home some donuts. I do not need those to go home with me. Harper.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us by the swing sets, nerds.